What's up, everybody? Welcome to an all-new, brand-new episode of the Yannis Pappas Hour. First, my live dates to come see me live. Guess what? Jordan Landing, Utah, August 4th and the 5th. Long Island, the Paramount Theater in Huntington, New York, August 17th. Dallas, Texas, August 24th through the 26th. Springfield, Missouri, September 9th through 7th. Calgary, Alberta, September 22nd, 23rd. Fort Wayne, Indiana, September 29th and 30th. Red Bank, New Jersey, October 14th. San Fran, October 27th through the 28th. New York, Sony Hall, New York City, November 4th. Providence, November 10th and 11th. Phoenix, November 16th and 17th. Spokane, Washington, December 1st and 2nd. Tulsa, December 8th and 9th. Louisville, December 15th and 16th. And the Royal Theater, Toronto, March 23rd. Also, I'll be doing Rogan's Club in Austin in October. That link will be going up soon. Now enjoy this episode. Patreon.com/Yannis Pappas Hour for bonuses as well.
Yannis Pappas. Yeah. When you all tucked up in the day long, and the news online going on and on, what's right and wrong, and there's something up. Now here comes a great kid you know you can trust. From the true who's who to the news and cameras to the fake politics and the propaganda. Yeah, this kid's screwed in, got a lot to say. Oh shit, it's about to be a long day. It's a long day.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the episode. It is nice to see you. No matter what we talk about and no matter how good or bad this episode is, I think we are immune to growth. So I think we may be the population of podcasts that are unaffected by growth. So I don't know if there's a peer review study on it, but I can tell you what the facts are. The facts, we have gotten smaller. So if growth was a virus, we can't catch it. Who knows? COVID back in the news. Internet culture is big in my life. I am big in internet culture because I spend a lot of time on the internet. To piggyback off of last episode, the internet has unleashed the demons of hell onto society. I'm all for closing those gates. I acknowledge, ironically, that I would have no career without those demons from hell. But also, I think it bears pointing out that I'm not sure how real internet controversies are. I'm not sure if anyone outside of internet culture, and by that I mean I can synonymously, I think that's synonymous with people who are chemically balanced. Have responsibilities, babies, lives, pay mortgage, have a job, have a 401k plan, have investments, have a portfolio, have a stroller in their garage, have a doorman, say hello to the mailman. People who live in the real world. I'm not even sure that they're aware that RFK Jr., they're like, RFK, isn't that the guy who got shot by Sirhan? Sirhan, you're like, no, he's got a son. He's got a son who liked to shoot smack. I like saying it that way. Isn't it great that you're a Kennedy? Imagine being a Kennedy and cooking up a spoon. Dude, you know how when you're a drug addict, you make friends with other drug addicts because that's what you have in common. Like if you see a bunch of people walking down the street and they don't look like they belong together, they're either going to rob a bank, right? They're drug addicts or they're stand-up comedians. Those are the three groups you'll see. What are these people doing together? Mm-hmm. You'll see like a single mom, a 25-year-old black kid from Long Island, and a kid in his 40s who's married with two kids. You're like, what are those three people doing together? Like, they're going to an open mic.
Or they're filming a new show for ABC.
Or they're going door to door for Jehovah's Witnesses, or they're about to shoot a community college pamphlet. They're getting ready to be photographed on stairs like this with smiles. They can go CCNY or whatever.
The place
go
for
to
everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll take everybody. That's about it. So drug addicts are like makes for strange bedfellows. You know, just like war makes for strange bedfellows, doing heroin makes for strange bedfellows. You have two different people from different walks of life will become friends because they both like shooting smack off a cooked spoon. Can you imagine, though, the thrill of shooting smack with RFK Jr., I'm showing up. If I have to choose my best friend, Larry just sounds like a guy who shoots smack, right? My old smack buddy Larry or RFK Jr., I'm going for that extra buzz by seeing how I can get in the smack circle of a Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
You got to go smack circle with Kennedy.
It's going to give you an extra adrenaline rush.
Extra little push. But,
He's a celebrity.
but knowing the history of that family, he's getting his own smack.
He's getting his own smack.
Because I'm not having no fentanyl spike smack to take
Right,
me out.
right. Why? Right, he's going to get good smack.
Yeah,
is
he's
what you're saying.
going to get too good of a smack. Because everyone in that family goes down.
They go down.
That
They go-
family could be called the Gravities.
Yeah, either they go down or there's a woman in their family or who connected to them who just dies. And he has one of those. So you're thinking, okay, because Ted Kennedy was driving in a car and he drowned some chick drowned in his car. JFK Jr. got in a helicopter with his wife. Poor lady, poor him. And he was a great Kennedy. And yeah, I mean,
One of the good ones.
he decides to get into the fucking helicopter. What? He got into a private plane to fly 25 minutes in absolute horrible weather, and he died. Or Hillary Clinton, whatever. Or Hillary Clinton killed him because she wanted to win the Senate. Whatever side of the internet you live in, it could be that as well. There's no proof that she didn't kill him, right? Supposedly, you can't say she didn't. Because she can shapeshift and she can turn into weather. Some people believe that. I think Hillary Clinton can shapeshift into clouds. So maybe she shapeshifted into clouds. He couldn't see. Where's the horizon? He smashed right into the water. And then Hillary Clinton, she changed right back and was right in bed.
Right back into a pantsuit.
With her lesbian lover, with her husband somewhere else. I think that's what's going on in that home in private. I think we got more of an Oprah Gale situation.
Yeah.
There's some woman named Denise that is sharing a bed with Hillary Rodham Clinton. So there is always a Kennedy tragedy. And so Ted Kennedy's killed a woman in his car. JFK Jr. Killed his wife, flying a stupid plane in a stupid time.
Mm-hmm. And RFK Jr.'s wife also died flying.
She hanged herself.
Yeah, from a ceiling fan.
She was flying from a ceiling fan. They were both airborne. Another airborne Kennedy. And also Ted Kennedy's, the one he killed, at some point, she was in the air as well.
Yeah, she
flew out of the car.
Mm-hmm.
Or was she in the car and submerged?
Off a bridge.
Yeah, they flew off a bridge. So at one point, they were all airborne.
All airborne.
They were all, the Kennedys like to die in the air.
They got trained by Evel Knievel.
So, yeah, his wife hanged herself. Off of in the barn, I think.
Is it hanged or hung?
It's hanged.
It's hanged?
I don't know why.
It sounds weird.
It should be hung. She hung herself.
Yeah, hung.
But it's hanged. I don't know why that is. But you're supposed to say hanged.
I sound stupid when I say it like that.
This is the one time I've said something correctly that sounded like I said something wrong, but I actually said something correctly.
No, I asked for my own thing.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just thinking in my life, usually I would have said the wrong thing. Usually it would have been hung and I said hang.
It's the opposite day
It's
for
the
you.
opposite.
Yeah.
Today's opposite. I'm right. I am right. Just like RFK Jr. is right about how COVID does not target Jews and Chinese. So he claims it's an ethnically targeted bioweapon. Now, there's a video of him saying it, and he quotes a study. And the study apparently is from 2020. Who knows? It's peer-reviewed. Maybe it's not. But when you read the study, it sounds like, hey, we looked at some stuff and maybe this. And this was early on in the pandemic. So I don't think anyone could possibly make any conclusion about anything. Off the top of my head, I can think of one Ashkenazi Jew who had a fever for 26 days of 103 with COVID.
How was that different from every other day of his life?
That's a good point. Here's what it is. It probably saved his life because he's used to feeling uncomfortable. So he had 103, and he's probably going, this feels just like it is to not be first in the line. And I'm used to this, so I've built up a tolerance to feeling annoyed. It's too hot out. I'm not first in line. Where's my food? Things like this
Yes.
probably helped him make it through The 26 days with like 100, 200, 300. He said he was losing his mind. He wanted to kill himself. And then he told me he took hydrochloroquine or whatever it is, and that helped or whatever. Or maybe his fever after 26 days broke. I don't know. But he had a fever for a fucking everyday fever. That must have been fucking wild. So who knows? But RFK Jr. At the very least, it's if you're running for president, it's probably sloppy to just go out on a limb and be like, I know for a fact that the Chinese and the United States are both creating bioweapons that are ethnically targeted. You probably want to play that.
You want to be safe.
You want to play that card a little closer to the chest. Again, I think we said it last episode. I think that's an off-the-record statement to Rogan in his waiting room. I don't think you wait for reporters to be around. I don't think. Here's the deal. Can we have a president who really wants to be doing smack be president? Is that a layup for Putin? Going, hey, you're going to sit down for the peace talks with Putin, and Putin's going, nice to meet you. You're a candidate. I have a lot of respect for the candidates. Also, go to the bathroom. I have a little present for you. What do you mean? I'd love to go to the bathroom. With some candy there. We'll give you a mouthwash, a mint, and also something else you may like that'll help these negotiations. He goes in, there's just a guy already cooking it. You see RFK just start to sweat. Next thing you know, he comes out relaxed, and Putin goes, will you stop sending weapons to Ukraine? And he just goes, absolutely, as long as you keep providing me with this good, pure, uncut Russian smack. I don't know if you could trust a smack addict with a country, dog. Now, listen, I don't have a problem with anyone who's a recovery alcoholic or in recovery. I don't have a problem. I think it's great. You're actually the most courageous person in the world.
You're working
Here's
on
the
yourself.
deal.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. I'm just not sure you should be president of the United States. I know my standards are high. You could do anything else. You could be my lawyer. You can be an athlete. You can be an accountant. You could drive a train.
Anything else, dog?
I just don't know if I want my president to be someone who has to put effort into turning down a smack off a cooked spoon. That's just, is that crazy? I also would like it if my president wasn't senile. I know my standards are nuts. I also would like it if my president wasn't absolutely senile and had a corrupt crackhead son.
Yes.
I know I have high standards. I also would like it if my president didn't have an active, visible personality disorder. Donald Trump is a borderline person. He has a personality disorder. It's like he's got narcissistic personality disorder.
And he breathes like Michael Jackson.
All Putin has to do is say, I like your suit and I think you're a strong leader. And he'll go, we'll do whatever you want. Because the right answer is complimenting me. It's so, how have we gotten to this point where our nominees they represent sort of the worst of us? And everyone's like, he's an environmental lawyer, he's everything like that. It's like, look, he says some stuff that's great, but like, how low are our standards?
He's an environmental lawyer if their environment's an MTA bathroom.
Yeah, or if the environment is protecting weed plants. He says some stuff I agree with, but so does Trump. So does Biden. Everyone says something. But if Biden goes, it's hot out today, I'm like, I agree. It is hot today.
He's right for change.
But it's like, agree or disagree. At this point, I don't care. I would take a president I disagree with if the guy was just sort of impressive and had a clean record. I just want at this point, I want a president who's not being indicted, who is not being is not having his family show him around old folks' homes to see which one he likes.
Yeah.
And wasn't in prison for smoking crack or weed.
Here's the thing.
Or alcohol.
Or
or coke. The kid liked it all.
He liked it all. He really sampled everything. Let's get rid of the election and let's just test out our presidents how we give sobriety tests.
Why can't it be a reality show like Survivor? Let's put them through tests. Let's put them on screen. It's like a strongman competition meets Survivor, meets, I don't know, The Apprentice, and you put them through all these tests, right? It's like a game show, so they got to do like a Wheel of Fortune type of game show where it proves what they know. Then you got to do like a secret kind of intel where you test their character, where they don't know they're being filmed, and they do that. And we just watch it like the Truman Show, and we pick the person who does the best in these sort of well thought out challenges that they have to pass. And the only one I think that probably RFK Jr. would pass is the monkey bars, because kid's cut. Kid's strong.
Cut. Yeah.
He did the best thing you could do as an addict is he put that addictive personality into the gym. He's 69 years old, and he looks great.
Mm-hmm.
He looks great.
He'd be doing dips at the Lincoln Memorial.
Now, here's the thing. He's probably the best candidate. I think if all things considered, if he's a little sloppy and says, hey, maybe the Chinese... Here's the funny part.
He is the best candidate, but when he gives the State of the Union, my TV's going to have to be on full blast.
Yeah, well, hello, you people of the United States. Here's the thing about RFK is, he's probably the best candidate because what are the other options? God, I was going to say something good and I fucking forgot it. Shit, I hate when that happens.
It's all right, dog. Keep on trucking. You got it.
Yeah, I feel like
he's the best candidate.
I feel like Joe Biden. I forgot what I was going to say.
He has a family history, obviously.
He's got a family history. He's in shape, which is good.
In shape, yes.
He's in shape, which is good.
He's talked to Joe Rogan, the people's president.
Yeah, he's our. It's a pretty low standard of people we have to pick with, which is here's the nominees: Haley, Ramaswamy, who I was on Fox News with. If I'm on a news program with you, you shouldn't be. If I'm in the same room with you, we were on the same show on Fox like 2 weeks ago. By the way, which was huge for my in-laws, okay? If you're on Fox for a family in Long Island,
oh yeah,
that's like a kid playing for the Red Sox growing up in Boston.
That was the Super Bowl for you.
That's big time.
When you went
Long
home,
Island.
they greeted you with ice cream cake.
That is big time for Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
That's like being a kid from Boston and playing for the Sox.
Yeah, they made that.
The family is very happy about that.
They gave you the ring like an Irishman.
Yes. So I was on a show with him, so that should get him out there. Scott, now he's a Republican senator, a congressperson.
Is he also the one who got caught in the hotel room?
No. That was Florida. He lost.
Is he a Democrat too?
He's a Democrat, that guy. Okay. And he lost, and he's like out of the picture now. He lost to DeSantis very narrowly. And he was hiding a lot. He was hiding a lot. That was right under the surface.
Mainly his sexuality.
I mean, Jews. Sexuality. I mean, I think he was passed out from. I think he was doing fentanyl. I mean, he was like doing hard drugs with a male prostitute with a married family. He was caught in a motel room, and you're going, wow. First of all, I don't think that's a knock in Florida. I think you're going, hey, this guy likes to party. We like to party.
That's elevation.
Yeah,
That's like, this is a guy, you know how they say you want to elect someone you can drink a beer with? That's like a big part of electability. Can I drink a beer with this person? I think in Florida, it's like, can I picture myself passing out with this guy while we bang prostitutes in a motel room after we do hard drugs?
How long can he sway?
Yeah.
30, 40, 50 minutes?
How much can I how much can I have another life that my wife doesn't know about? That's very Florida.
Doing fentanyl in Florida is like having a non-for-profit organization.
It's like drinking a beer with the guy.
Yeah.
It's like in Florida, it's like drinking a beer. I can drink a beer with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I could picture myself passing out in a hotel room also with a male prostitute as I hide my sexuality and call myself confused and put the onus on my wife. I remember that article. Oh my God, that article was so funny. I think we did an episode about it. The article was about how the incident forced his wife to be accepting of LGBTQ issues.
Yeah, you got to spin it.
I mean, totally put him off the hook. It's like, oh, she's the bad person here because she was very closed-minded about her husband being who he says he is and not fucking other people.
He threw his wife right under the bus.
Yeah, but you know what? It's a lesson for her. It was a lesson for her on being able to accept other sexualities and be open-minded to what her husband was struggling with. I mean, that article was just like, I was like, wow, we're in the Twilight Zone at this point. We're in the Twilight Zone. It was a comedy sketch. That article was like, you can't add comedy to comedy. And when you see articles like that, that's the reason why there is a Breitbart. That's the reason why there is a Newsmax. Because, you do something so blatantly outrageous that it opens a market for a reactionary paper to go fuck you, because nobody else is going fuck you. That's bullshit. So it opens it up. Just like any conspiracy theory gets opened up when you deny anything that may be obvious, right? So you're going, JF Kennedy, no, there's no way JFK was assassinated. We did it. We looked into it. You're like, you go like this, right? They go, we did a whole council. We did it. What was it called? The JFK assassination panel or whatever. It was one gunman. You're going, was it? Right? You go, then you go, I think
JFK wasn't having sex with girls in the White House. What are you talking about?
yeah, you go, yeah, you hide that. And then you go, COVID started in Wuhan. There happened to be a COVID lab there where they were doing gain of function research. This virus was more transmissible than any virus in the history of humanity.
And it came from bats.
It was very strong, and it came from a bat. No, there's no possible way it came from
Not at all.
the laboratory that's right there.
Look at these facts right here. We asked Bruce Wayne himself.
Yeah, you're insulting people at that point, and so then that opens it up for any conspiracy. Like maybe this is a bioweapon, maybe it's being targeted. And the funny thing is, people buy it and they don't take a second to think about it for a second. So here's what I thought about it. I was like, okay, RFK, who's also very upset about the lockdowns, right? He thought they were draconian.
You wouldn't be able to tell, but he's upset.
He was upset, right? He was saying that's bad. This was bad. It was like Nazi Germany. They locked you down, blah, blah, blah. And then I go, okay, so you're upset. You thought the government overreacted and they did it. They did it to be bad. You think the pharmaceutical companies were just trying to make money, poisoning people, whatever you believe, right? He's open to all that shit. Vaccines are bad, all that, right? They cause autism. He's in on all that. He's in. I mean, fucking he is in. He's in on the frogs, the chemical aspartame, making kids non-binary. He's in all of it, right? Because of some studies he read or whatever. And there is evidence out there, I guess. Somebody did a study on the aspartame, Stanford study or whatever, that maybe it makes the frogs gay. That was an actual study on something like that. I don't know if it's a foregone conclusion that it makes humans trans. I don't know. But he's in, right? He doesn't say, I don't know. He goes, I read it and I'm in. I believe it. That's the thing. That's what people don't understand. It's like, can anyone say maybe? There was a study. There's always studies, and then there's contravening studies. They do more, and then it ends up not being true. Everyone's always looking for a cause. They do a study. Those studies end up being flawed. They redo it. So, but RFK goes all the way in. He goes, it's true. He goes, I did one, so I read one study, and then blah, blah. So here's where it gets funny. So you're telling me you're against the lockdowns, that the lockdowns were bad. But then you're also telling me that COVID was an ethnically targeted bioweapon. So you're going, wait a second. So if it's an ethnically targeted bioweapon sent to maim white and blacks, because that's what he said, isn't it a good thing that the government locked us down to protect us from it? And then you go, and then you just look at him and you go,
and that's like,
and then he goes, you know?
and you're just like, is someone playing The Walking Dead? What's that sound?
You're telling me 100% you believe it was an ethnically targeted bioweapon to kill white and black Americans, Western people, I guess, which Africa did pretty well because they have a younger population or something like that. And the anti-vaxxers will say, oh, they didn't have the vaccine as much. That's why. Who knows, right? Vaccine obviously wasn't as efficacious as they said it was.
Good word.
So there's something there. Good word. Sebastian, that's for you. But then you're going like, so why, if it's an ethnically targeted bioweapon, wouldn't the right thing for the government to protect its citizens be, wouldn't it, to protect your citizens, wouldn't it be, the best thing would be to lock down? Be like, whoa, this thing's dangerous. It's an ethnically targeted bioweapon. It's sent here to maim and kill you. Let's lock down so you don't catch it until we can figure out some sort of antidote that mitigates it. That would seem like the right move.
That is a smart move.
Not even, and don't even, I'd go RFK, don't even think about what happened. I'm saying hypothetically, create the scenario that you're proposing. There's a bioweapon that's ethnically targeting white and blacks, because that's what he said. You know, it's amazing, too. It's like this Trump effect when people who love RFK, you say, like, that's what he said. They go, he didn't say that. And you watch it. It's like watching the Rodney King video, and they go, like, well, we don't know what he was saying to those cops. You know what it's like? You have the evidence, and you're going like, dog, and people are like, you're like, here you go, what's his name? George Floyd. They go, George Floyd was a bad person and he held a gun and that you're going, yeah, that is all true. But the guy did murder him with his fucking knee on his neck. And they go, they didn't die from that.
It was his ankle. It wasn't his knee.
It's like that guy was on fentanyl. You're like, maybe he was, but also he was going, I can't breathe and I need help. And the guy was kneeing on his neck. I saw the video. And you're going, but it started at a weird time. They keep going like, they started at a weird time. How were you feeling when you watched it? How you were feeling when you watched it can influence your perception of reality. I mean, it's like every excuse.
It's a murder video, dog. It's not Goodfellas.
It's a snuff film. I watched it. It's a snuff film. Okay? There's an objective reality, and I watched it. The guy fucking was kneeing on his neck. I don't care if whatever the police department's protocol was. I don't care if he was on fentanyl. I don't care if he was a criminal. I don't care if he had COVID. Those probably were all contributing factors. I'll even give you that. But he still was saying, I can't breathe, get off my neck. And he didn't get off his neck, and the guy died. So the guy kneeling on his neck killed him. That's what the autopsy said. That's what my eyes said from seeing it, right? So,
and if your eyes are saying something, you know it's true.
Because they usually only can see my nose. First and foremost.
Yeah.
And then you watch RFK sitting there and you're going, I heard him say it. That's what he said. He exactly said that, that the United States and China are in a virus bioweapon arms race. And there's good evidence that COVID was a bioweapon that targeted whites and blacks, right? And the people go, he didn't say it was. He said there's good evidence. You're going, we're parsing. I mean, what do you think he's saying? I mean, what am I supposed to imply by what he's saying? You know, right? And then he brings up that one study that mentions Ashkenazi and East Asian or whatever. And you're going like, there's tons of studies. He picked that one. Why did he pick that one? Because it's funner. That one's fun. Can you look me in the eye and tell me conspiracy theories aren't addictive? They're addictive. Do you not get a little bit of a chemical rush trying to figure out what's going on when you feel like you're a detective in it? It's a rush. Now, this kid doesn't do smack anymore, but you telling me he doesn't get a little bit of a rush? A little bit of a rush, drawing conclusions from the funner study that may have some funner, nefarious implications. Wow, it's a bioweapon that targets everyone but Jews and Chinese. That gets my adrenaline going a little bit.
He has to.
You know, people who have addictive personalities like to push it. They like to push. Am I wrong, Jess? They like to push. They're adrenaline junkies. They like to push it. When you want to do 15 push-ups, he wants to do 100. Why? Because he really wants to shoot smack out of a cooked spoon. So because he can't shoot smack out of a cooked spoon, he'll do 1,000,000 push-ups where you'll do 100. He'll go to extremes. His personality is always extreme. He's looking for extremes. So he's always going to be attracted to the most extreme theories. So he'll be looking for evidence. And you could see that in all his beliefs across the board. He doesn't just stop at the COVID. He's got a bunch of conspiracies, right? So it's like, that's what I love about people who like conspiracies. Like, they're never into just one, right? They're never into just one.
Mm-hmm.
They like them all. They kind of get into all of them. They have fun with all of them. They don't just go like, hey, man, the 9/11 was fishy. I don't really know what happened, but that's about it. They go like, and also. They're
like Girl Scout cookies.
And also, yeah. And also, let's talk about Marilyn Monroe. You're like, we're all the way at Marilyn Monroe? That was a long time ago. And let's just not talk about that. Let's talk about Queen Elizabeth, and she was a man.
And also, let's talk about Hammurabi. Did he really have a code?
Yeah, and now let's get into some conspiracies of why certain podcasts broke up. And they go, I got some theories. And you're going, wow, we're all the way over in podcasts now. Sounds like you love a good conspiracy. Sounds like you love a good, dare I say, sounds like you love a good conspiracy as much as you love getting to the bottom of something. Sounds like you love a good conspiracy, dare I say, maybe even a little more than what the truth might be. Because a good conspiracy theory is fucking fun. And it's also fun. especially if you have a addictive personality, to say the thing that make people go and see what happens. I know that because I say things that make people go for a living, and it feels good. It feels good to get a reaction. So if I was someone who also likes shooting smack out of a spoon, I just like phrasing it that way because it's funny. And I couldn't shoot smack out of a spoon anymore, or else I'd kill myself. I might be inclined to say the thing that make people go just for a rush. I'm just saying this could be playing a role, no? This is my theory. This is my theory.
He's replacing smack with politics.
With conspiracy theories.
Within politics.
Yeah, because it's across the board. He's not just into one. He's into, you go like, when you read, you're like, he believes that. You're like, okay. Oh, and also that. Oh, and you're like, wow, RFK's into a bunch of them, right? Now, conspiracy theories always have some kernel of truth in them, whatever, or they're bred because someone was lying about something else and they were caught, so that opens it up. It's sort of like when you have a friend and who you trusted, and then you find out that he lied to you about one thing, right? Big. And then so even when he's telling the truth about something later, you can't trust him because he lied about that one
You
thing.
just felt so betrayed.
Yeah, you just feel betrayed. So you're like, now I can't trust you. The trust is gone. It's like even in a relationship, you cheat on a chick, and then you're like, you want to be faithful, and you are, but she doesn't trust you anymore. So the relationship is ruined, right? That's the same thing. That's sort of the same principle, as to why people buy into conspiracies, because they catch the media lying about one thing, and they're like, oh, if you were lying about that, then you could be lying about that. So that's going to make me distrust you more and make me more prone to believe an alternative source. Now, I'd like to remind everybody that an alternative source doesn't mean it's true. It means it's an alternative source. It means it's another piece of news from an alternative or news organization. Now, people who know alternative music, that alternative music doesn't mean it's good music.
It ain't always the best.
It just means it's not traditional rock and roll. Most of it is shit. Sometimes even worse than traditional music. I'd rather listen to fucking Taylor Swift hum a fucking 3-chord pop song than some of these fucking alternative Seattle bands from the 90s that sounded like it was there was silverware in a garbage disposal.
Yeah.
Shout out Matt Pearl, who I think came up with that line. See, I'm an honest guy. I didn't have to quote him because nobody knows who he is, but I think that's who said it.
I think you're right.
Yeah. I was pulling a reference out from the early 90s, from the early 2000s. Matt Pearl, old friend of mine. He was my writing partner for our old sketch group. And I think he said, this band sounds like silverware in a garbage disposal, which is a great line.
I think you just gave him his biggest credit of his career.
Well, he did write for Dennis Miller. He did write for the Orlando Jones show. And then after that, I had to hire him at Fusion. And now there's a writer's strike, so he may be working at Panera Bread in Schaumburg, Illinois. I mean, the kid is jacked. I've known a few people with addictive personalities. We're in comedy. A lot of the people in comedy have addictive personalities, and they're into extreme behavior. Comedians have obsessive, addictive personalities.
All right, but you want to hear my conspiracy theory?
Yeah.
He can only get like 7 reps out of, what is that, 35s?
So he's on juice.
He must be.
Yeah, he's probably on. And he's also 69 to look like that. He's probably on juice. He answered that conspiracy, by the way.
Did he?
Because the people said he only got like 7. I only got 7. But he said they started filming towards the end of my set.
This guy can't even bang out 10 push-ups.
Well, he said that the reason what that was is because they started filming when he was almost done.
Oh, okay.
Right. But I think he's probably shooting testosterone into his asshole.
Could be.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Of course,
Yeah, allegedly. So, but listen, he's an anti-establishment candidate, and the current president is embarrassingly senile. And he also happens to have a huge liability in his family, which is a corrupt crackhead son. Now, the establishment media has downplayed the corrupt part, but the kid's fucking corrupt. I mean, what the fuck was he doing working for an energy company in Ukraine? What multinational energy company is looking for a crackhead to be on the board and give him a salary? I'll tell you which one. The one who happens to have a father who is the vice president of the most powerful nation on the planet that they can curry favor with. How about them apples? You don't have to fucking go to a community college to play connect the dots on that one.
Not at
If
all.
his father wasn't vice president of the United States, do you think anyone would be interested in paying a 6 or 7 figure salary to a fucking crackhead? Hunter Biden smokes crack cocaine. He smokes crack cocaine, and he likes to take pictures and videos of himself getting blowies on a fucking laptop. He also brings that Who takes a laptop in to get repaired anyway? What is this, 1997? Buy another one. You're a Biden. You're on the board of Burisma. You don't got $3,000 to drop on a new fucking Mac and have your data transferred? Who the fuck brings their computer in to get repaired by the Geek Squad? Have you ever brought your computer in to be repaired? You just buy a new one. It's fucking crazy. It's like when your dishwasher breaks. This isn't 1983 where you call a repairman because everything's being made here and there's only 100 dishwashers available and you got to repair it. It costs $300 to get a new fucking dishwasher. They're only made to last a couple of years so they can get some turnover.
Mm-hmm.
So you go buy a new one. Only a fucking irresponsible crackhead would go and give his fucking laptop to some fucking Delaware repairman who probably had a "Don't Tread on Me" sign in the fucking, you know those ultra Republicans who have second knock knock and meet my gun? He probably had a knock knock meet my gun sticker on his front door, which means he's no friend to the Obama-Biden administration, and this fucking out of it crackhead gives his computer to this guy. Has anyone ever brought up the fact that he's questionable just for getting his computer repaired? I don't think I've ever heard that. That just shows you how much of a liability he is.
You got to give him some credit, though, because he could have just took it back to Apple, and he probably thought in his head, he's like, nah, this is too high scale. Let me take it to a low spot. It was probably next to a Quiznos or some shit. He was like, yeah, this is definitely better. And he still got caught.
I think you're right. I think it was a run-of-the-mill kind of computer repair shop.
He didn't even go to the Genius Bar.
Yeah, in Delaware.
Yeah.
And the reason why he did it is because he's a fucking moron. He's also got low character. He started fucking his brother's wife after his brother died. That's, I mean, am I my brother's keeper? There's plenty of women to fuck. You don't fuck your brother's widow, dude. Hunter Biden, on this is Time Magazine, on making his own crack, living with his dealer, and his family efforts to keep him alive. Now, look, I have a lot of sympathy for Joe Biden that he had a son like this. But also, dog, you're president. You're going to be under... I hate this everyone's a victim bullshit.
Yep.
You know, people get... I hate these people who want to be in the public eye and they don't want to be criticized or something like that. You know what I mean? This is not how it works. This is America. You don't get to just be in the public eye and not have comedians talk about you. You're going to be talked about. You can't have your fucking cake and eat it too. You want to be famous? People are going to talk about you. Stop fucking bitching and moaning. You're walking down the street and there's paparazzi there. Guess what? It's because people want to look at you, right? Do like Jerry Seinfeld did. Yeah, Jerry Seinfeld does it the best. He goes, "Did you get the picture? It's the same picture. It's the same picture." Everyone who's in the public eye is open to scrutiny, and that's a good thing.
Open for all the smoke.
It's what keeps everybody honest. That's fucking America. This whole candidate fundamentalism, where like you make a joke about Trump or you make a joke about RFK and people are like, I'm unfollowing you. By the way, the people who say that to me are the ones who call liberals cucks and snowflakes. And then I'll make an RFK joke and they'll be like, I'm unfollowing you or stop tweeting. But if I say something about AOC, they're like, it's like, who's the real cuck? Who's the cuck?
It's those people. They need champions in the
Who
league.
is, I'm asking you, cuck. Who's the cuck? You're telling me liberals are snowflakes and they're cucks and they're too sensitive. But then I make a joke about your fucking heroes and you say I'm unfollowing you and you lash out at me like I'm in your family. And you lash out at me and you say you're unfollowing because you can't. So who is the cuck?
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you. You weren't wrong about the liberals, but you also are a cuck. There's a lot of cucks out there. You know, and it's candidate fundamentalism. It's crazy. It's like people are starting to it's a fascist tendency. It's like if they're like they won't shit on them. It's like that's the point of having a president is you shit on them. They work for us. I don't care if you like the guy. I like you. And I shit on your height all the time.
All the time.
And you're not even that short,
No.
right? I shit on your generic Nikes at one point. Shitting on somebody is what keeps us all honest and makes us remember we're just fungus growing on a rock and have a sense of humor
Keeps
and
the
keep
shit
it light.
going.
It keeps us away from that imperious instinct to try to control other people. It's a reminder that, like, no, you're not in control. Something else is in control.
We're all in this together. We're all on the
balancing
same
each
level.
other out. We're all checking each other. We're all on the same
Yeah,
level.
checks and balances.
Checks
That's why
and
we have
balances.
it in politics.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, Biden doesn't have that.
He doesn't. You're no different than the guy who works at the gas station just because you're president or you're a Kennedy or who gives a shit. This is America. We don't give into that shit. We don't have political families. We shit on the Bushes because they kept electing fucking their family and everyone was shitting on them. You know? I don't even remember people who voted for them. I don't even remember them getting as upset when you shitted on how stupid George W. Bush was. Now, if you like Trump, they're like, people go crazy. It's like, the guy's a fucking joke, constantly out there, you know, just like being a narcissist, right? You know, but you're only going to listen to Hillary jokes. What is this? You're attached to personalities? Shit on people, and whoever comes out the cleanest is the best. I think that's the role of a comedian and the people. That's what they should be using their voice on Twitter for. Just shit on. Hey, pick someone you like and shit on them. See what happens.
A little exercise.
Yeah, it's a little exercise. Pick someone you like and shit on them. See how fun it is. And because it'll remind you, be like, oh yeah, that's right. They're not my family or friend. People get like will defend a politician more than they will their own family or something. You'll be yeah, your brother's an asshole. They'll go, yeah, you know, my brother is kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
Right? That's who you should be defending. Then you go, Donald Trump's a real asshole. They go, you shut your fucking mouth.
Because that's them. Donald
Yeah.
Trump is them. So when you talk shit about their champion, you're talking shit about me. And if you're talking about shit about me, you make me question my whole existence.
Well, then you're a cock.
Exactly.
You know, and the same goes for the other side. It's like, you know, people like they treat these candidates like they're perfect.
Yeah.
And like you can't shit on them. You can't shit on AOC. She's a joke. I think the point is like, man, we've fallen off. Everyone's confused. Nobody knows what to believe. And people are falling for everything. I think that, in a nutshell, says it. And it's fun. So listen, this is a fun theory that it was a bioweapon that attacks only whites and blacks.
Much like that fart right now.
Right. What is something that attacks whites and blacks only? That's an interesting thing. That's an interesting thing. At least it unifies whites and blacks. That's
Yes.
nice.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a positive thing. Like, oh wow, we have a common enemy now, and it's COVID. The funny thing is, just listening to RFK give his defense of what he said. He goes, it was completely taken out. First of all, he goes, that was off the record. That's bullshit. You're going like, well, then maybe you wanted to tell the guy who was filming it, and maybe you don't want to have that conversation to a reporter where other people are around. So he was saying that was like the first defense. Well, it was off the record. You're going like, but you did say it and it was filmed. And then he goes, it was taken out of context. Here's how it was taken out of context. The thing is, some people were like, oh, it's anti-Semitic. In my mind, I didn't even go to anti-Semitic because I don't think he's anti-Semitic. In my mind, I was just going, wow, that's sloppy. That's real sloppy for a presidential candidate to just go, this is what's going on. Like, that's sloppy. You know, that's something for like me and you to talk about on here.
Mhm.
You know, it's not something for a presidential candidate to just go out on a limb. And then my favorite is him and defenders of RFK going like, how could you have come up with that? Like, how could you be so stupid that you would think that he meant that the Jews were involved in this? You're going like, how did I get there? I don't know how I got there. Let me think for a second. If this is an ethically targeted bioweapon and it spares Jews and Chinese, and the Chinese made it, the CCP made it, why would they spare the Jews unless the Jews were involved to also spare themselves? I guess the only other reason was maybe the Chinese were so thankful for all the business the Jews gave them on Christmas Eve that they said, we'd like to spare your life in return for all those meals that you bought at our restaurants over the years. Thank you. This is the way we say thank you for choosing to dine with us on Christmas Eve, Jews.
Makes sense because Chinese love their business.
I mean, what else would it be? What else conclusion would I draw from you saying that this was an ethnically target? I mean, do you people hear what I'm saying? I mean, why do I feel like I'm living in the Twilight Zone? How could you yell at me and call me stupid for maybe thinking that RFK was suggesting that the Jews and Chinese were involved in this and that they protected themselves after unleashing this virus that is designed to target only whites and blacks? Please check me on this if I'm wrong. You're a very circumspect guy. Is it far-fetched to assume that if I'm telling you it's an ethnically targeting bioweapon that spares Jews and Chinese, even if I'm quoting a supposed peer-reviewed study, that I might be suggesting that the people who created it decided that they wanted to spare themselves? Is that far-fetched? It's not, right? And you're a fucking pretty cynical guy. And you can't wait to call me bipolar. You can't wait to call me bipolar. But am I not being completely rational here?
You are.
I think it might be extreme to call that outrageous. To go like, how the fuck could you make that connection that he's saying that? Pretty easily. Let's try to change it up. Can you help me change it up? Let's try to change it up. Let's say there was a virus, a deadly virus, right? And you saw some study somewhere out of tons of studies, right? Okay, that was at the beginning of the pandemic that said that this thing was targeting, black people alone. It was engineered to target the specific DNA of black people. And the virus originated in Mississippi, and it spares white people. But I'm just quoting a study that I read, right? That happened to really jump out at me. It really happened to jump out at me. Would it be far-fetched for you to assume that I'm saying, or that you're saying, whoever's bringing it up, that perhaps white people built this virus to kill black people and spare themselves?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Would that be far-fetched?
The lead doctor on that study is David Duke.
Right. It makes it a little more apparent when you change the ethnicities, right?
By the way, that product exists. It's called Sprite.
It's called Sprite.
Or quarter waters.
Yeah, it's quarter waters,
Quarter
Sprite, a whole bunch of liquor stores in the hood.
That white woman.
There's a lot of things they sent. Black people are resilient.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things old cracker sent to get you. And, I mean, who knows? Who knows where AIDS started? Now, I'm making fun of conspiracy theorists right here. Now I'll make fun of myself. I believe in some conspiracy theorists. I just don't go so far as to say I know what happened, right? Obviously, we know what happened to the Gulf of Tonkin. That was bullshit. That's not a conspiracy. That was a false flag operation. That happened. Hitler did it in Poland as well. So that happens. To think that 9/11 might have been a false flag, not too far-fetched considering people do that. And it's a smart tactic if you want to galvanize support amongst your people. Did we know about Pearl Harbor happening? Probably. It wasn't a false flag, but we probably had some previous knowledge that it was going to happen. We may have let it happen in order to get into the war and get public support. Probably. Did we squeeze them a little with the oil too, knowing that they might attack? Probably. Is that the Machiavellian game that serves the bigger good? Maybe. But that's as far as I'll go.
True.
Right? Was something fishy on 9/11? Abso-fucking-lutely. But that's as far as I'll go. I mean, you find the passport and you say, we found the terrorist passport. I'm going to go, that's strange, because it was in a fireball and it's paper. So that's strange. I'll say that's strange. If you don't show any consistent footage of the plane hitting the Pentagon, I'm going to go, that's strange. It's the most filmed building in the world. It's strange that we can't get us. It was like 1 frame, 2 frame, plane disappears, explosion. You're like, can I get us plane? Can I see a plane?
This is Pentagon or a 7-Eleven on Long Island?
Yeah, why does it look like fucking security footage of a 7-Eleven on Long Island where it's like footage? You know, can I get one? Yeah, that's a little strange. And then there's a whole list of other strange things. The buildings felt kind of nice and neat. That's all I'll say. Building 7 wasn't hit by a plane. It did fall. No steel frame building has ever fallen from fire. I'll say that's strange. And I'll keep it there. I'll keep it there. I won't say the Jews did it. I won't say nobody was on the plane in Shanksville or whatever the fuck it was.
They did fall neat, very neat.
Very neat. Here's how
it's sexy too.
Here's the deal.
Like when your girl drops her dress when she wants to get it on.
Real sultry.
Real nice.
Real neat and sultry. Here's the deal. If it was a controlled demolition, here's the way you say it, and you're not wrong. If it was a controlled demolition of all 3 buildings, guess what? They would have fallen like that. That's a true statement. Nobody can dispute that. Nobody can refute that. The buildings fell like at free fall speed nearly with like very little resistance. Now, maybe there's a perfectly good explanation for that. Maybe the weight on top. I'm no fucking physicist. I'm no scientist, whatever. I'm just saying,
Either
as a
that.
comedian and someone who's street smart, if the buildings were imploded on purpose, they would have looked exactly like
Exactly
that.
like that.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I don't know anything else.
Either that or they were built by the dudes who made the Miami high rise.
That's it, because that came down easily as well. That's it. That's all I'm saying. I will not go further than that. And then we ended up attacking another country that had nothing to do, supposedly, with the people who did it. That's strange.
Caught the smoke.
Yeah, that's strange. And that they lied about weapons of mass destruction. He kind of gets off the hook on that. Colin Powell's kind of like left off. You're like, what was that about, Colin? That wasn't true. Iraq didn't have weapons of mass destruction, which is a great, they like toiled over that expression all night too. They're like, how are we going to sell this? Nuclear weapons just doesn't have the same, I could picture it was very similar to probably like a Schultz staff meeting. When they're sitting around going, how are we going to give this a good pop for the people? How are we going to connect? How are we going to make this algorithm really serve us?
Big weapons.
Nah, that doesn't sound good. No, nuclear, it's been said. It's been said. Nuclear's been said.
Big bombs, big heavies.
Big bombs, you're thinking of tits. Nah, it doesn't have the thing.
nah.
We got to really phrase this nice.
Destroy.
Destroy's a good word.
Yeah.
I like destroy.
Yeah.
I like destroy. I like destroy.
Hold on, where's my do-rag?
Yeah, put your do. It's a weapon.
It's a weapon.
Weapons,
Yeah.
weapon.
Weapon, yeah.
Serve you. Gun is like, gun can be used for other things. Gun,
But it's got to affect a lot of people.
yeah,
It's just
glue
kinda
gun.
big, too.
Yeah, big.
That's just kind of
Like-
big.
mass.
Like
Got a lot of
mass.
mass.
Mass,
Got a lot of
yeah.
mass.
Yeah.
Yo. Hold on. Weapons of mass destruction. Yeah. Because that really does pack a punch when you say they have weapons of mass destruction, which essentially means nukes, but it doesn't have the same,
WMD, which sounds like suck my D.
yeah, weapons of mass destruction. You going, yo, that sounds scary, dog. And don't think for 1 second they didn't thoroughly plan that out. I mean, they didn't choose those words to have premium effect.
They thought of that shit, how Walmart thinks about their Black Friday deals.
That's exactly right. It was thought out. It's good PR. So, yeah, that's not a conspiracy. But those type of things, when they get caught lying, they do breed conspiracies.
That's right. They start feeding them.
You know? Now, here's one that I have. God, sometimes I have a big one. It was a big one that I have that I was about to say. That I do believe was a conspiracy. God, and it's a good one. People would love to hear it. I hate because then we get off on a tangent and my brain can't hold it.
Did you write it down on your phone?
I didn't write it down on my phone. Fuck. I lost it. It's a conspiracy that I believe. That I'm into it, and I can't think of what it is. Maybe it'll come.
Greeks are black people just without melanin?
That's a fact. I don't think that's a conspiracy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just can't think of what it is. But it's a juicy one too, and I believe it. I buy it.
Oh, I know what it is.
What?
AIDS was created by the South African
That's
government.
right.
Yep.
Thank you. Fuck. How did you know that? Because I've said it before? Dog, I believe AIDS was created by the South African government to kill black people. Yeah, I do. I buy that. Strange otherwise. You're like, it's one of those things. It's like COVID. You're going, wait a second. Somebody fucked a monkey? What are we talking about here? It jumped, what? It just happens to affect gay people more, right? It happens to affect black people. What's going on here? Now, it originated in Africa. South African government is this small, oppressive government that's trying to control millions and millions and millions of people and keep them oppressed. But they're outnumbered at every turn. What would they try to do? Makes sense. Let's kill as many of them as we can to even out these numbers as much as we can.
It's either going to be that or a soccer match to the death.
Yeah, I believe, dude, I mean, and I have no evidence. So it could be very ignorant for me to suggest such a thing. It just, there's motive there. I see big motive. Ooh, what's this? New African Magazine says, we deliberately spread AIDS in South Africa. Look at this guy. Holy macaroni.
If anyone was going to try to take out black people, that's the face that I would expect to see.
But it's also the face of someone I can't trust one word they say.
Oh, yeah, no.
If I can see your full chest hair, I'm not trusting, I'm not buying anything from you.
No, sir.
If you're wearing a chain and you got your full chest hair out, there's no way I trust you.
Yeah, if I borrow money from you, you're definitely killing me.
You're not getting it back, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What does he say here? Why are we staring at this guy? Shocking confession made on camera in new documentary. All right, we don't know who this guy's. Is there any reputable magazine like outlet that may suggest that there's the cost of South Africa's AIDS created by South African government? Jesse just put that in. That's going to be tough on Google. They're not going to, Google's a bitch. South Africa's painful HIV failures. It just makes sense to me. It just like I would buy that. And that we may not have gone to the moon, that's possible too. Because we were there's motive for us to pretend like we did.
We would spend all that money if it didn't have to do with actually spilling blood and war. Like we would spend like in an intellectual race of going to the moon with Russia.
Well, yeah, because we wanted to beat them to say, hey, we're stronger than you.
Yeah.
Like we got there first and don't fuck with us.
And if we didn't have any bloodshed for that, I think the United States would spend a lot of money to make people think that we went to the moon.
Yeah, well, maybe we didn't.
Yeah.
Maybe we didn't. It seems like we did, but also who cares? People get all caught up in it. You're like, all right, they lied about that. Who cares? They didn't lie not to help us. They were trying to help us against this in this Cold War against these people who hate us. I mean, what do you want? What do you want? What are we not going to get our hands dirty? All right, they lied. Okay. It's the same thing with like the earth is flat. You're going, why? Who cares? Like, all right, if you want to believe it's flat, believe it's flat. Now what? Now what happens? Why? Why would anyone lie about the shape of the earth? And they have a reason, right? They go, because there's something on the ice walls, on the other side of the ice walls that they're hiding from us. You're going, then hike there, dog. Then go hike there. I don't know what to tell you.
Figure that shit out for yourself.
Yeah. People who believe the earth is flat are really a whole level of fucking crazy that I enjoy. Because the other ones, there's motives. You're going, all right, I get the motive for why. There's some conspiracies have clear motives. You're like, all right. I believe that maybe the South African government created AIDS to target black people, to lower the population. Think about it. It attacks people who try to reproduce, right? Maybe that's what they're trying to do. There's at least a motive. They have a motive. They're scared of black people. There's millions of them. They don't want to lose their grip on the country.
Exactly.
At least there's a motive. But when you go, hey, the earth is flat, you're going, why? And they're going, they don't want us to meet the ice people. They're trying to keep us away from the ice. What's the motive? And then here's the funnier part. You're going, hey, dog, do you see all the other round stuff out there? You can clearly see the moon is round. You can see other planets around when you look at it with a telescope. You can see the sun is round. We're just the only flat shit? And they're going, yeah. It looks like you're just looking through a Busch Gardens brochure right now. Why some people believe the earth is flat. The question whether the earth is flat has been debated throughout human history by fucking stupid people. The shape of the earth explains seasons, changes weather. We know that. But yeah, what?
I guess you got to watch this video.
Yeah, listen, dog. We're not going to waste time listening to someone's reason. Because the funnier point is like, why? The street smart thing, which street smarts is a great thing to have. You're going like, why? Who benefits from the earth being flat?
White woman, because it makes them feel better about their asses.
That's the only possible, as far-fetched as it could be, that's the only possible thing I could come up with. What else? What else could it possibly be? You know, the only thing is like there's something on the other side of those ice walls. And I love how there's ice walls, right? So it's like, wait, if it's flat, wouldn't the weather be the same? Like when the sun is up and it was flat, wouldn't it be? Because the climate has to do with the Earth being round, right? So when the northern hemisphere tilts a little farther away from the sun, that's winter. And so right now it's winter in the southern hemisphere. So if you went to Argentina, it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
If you went to Australia, it's cold. And then our winter, it tilts back this way, and then it's summer for them. And it's
That's
like
what
the
they
opposite.
want you to believe.
That's what they want you to believe.
Yeah.
Why? Why?
That's what they want you to believe, man. Really, it's just a big lamp that
Yeah.
they borrow from Golden Corral
Yeah.
that they turn on and off when they want to.
It's funny. Wokeness and conspiracies have a lot in common because it's never enough. Because there's always a loophole, and then you have to come up with another thing.
You can always keep on going.
You keeps going. Like
So
we
you
were
have
talking about that last episode about the Snow White thing. It's like it just keeps going. It's a big mess. Because they were like, all right, we're not going to have dwarfs in it. And then they're going, oh, wait, if we're not going to have dwarfs, we can't leave it be a prince because prince are prince people. So, and then, we can't call it suicide. We got to call it unalive. And you're like, we can't call it unalive because some people get triggered by unalive. It just keeps going. It never ends.
That Snow White thing is pretty funny. Though.
Snow White thing is one of the funniest things I've ever. To be honest with you, it's one of the funniest ones of all
I
time.
think it would be funny if they switched it out for dwarves and then just have a random people, but the people still have stereotypes. Like the black one likes chicken.
Right. Yeah, that would. It's almost might as well do that because it's like you're not fixing anything. I think the dwarfs that initial photo we looked at was the photo like an imagining of what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going for a diverse cast of formerly known as dwarfs. So you're going to have a Latin dwarf, you have a black dwarf, you have an Asian dwarf, you have a white dwarf, an Indian
Can't be
dwarf.
dwarfs.
But they're not dwarfs.
But they're not dwarfs.
They're not dwarfs.
Also, are they worried about catching flack from the dwarf community?
Well, the dwarf community's not happy about it because they want the acting roles.
True, but dog, if they're gonna have a protest of the movie, you're not gonna be able to see it.
No, you're going to have to really, you might miss it. Look down. Make sure you look down when you do it. So RFK's only on the internet, though. I like my RFK the way I like my 9/11 conspiracies on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
The internet's a fun place. I don't think the people who are holding up society are on the internet. I have a sneaky suspicion that the best of us aren't on Twitter getting into the bowels of what people are talking about. I don't think a lot of people even know RFK is intending on running. I think he's an internet celebrity like Andrew Tate. I think there's a lot of people who don't even know who Andrew Tate is. By the way, our president is senile. The main candidate against him has a personality disorder. RFK likes shooting smack out of a spoon. And Andrew Tate is a conservative thought leader. These are all facts. I just said facts. We're in a weird place. I'd say we're in a weird place. But it's fun. I think when all your needs are met, right? You go to fun.
You wild out.
I think you wild out because all your needs are met. We don't have to worry about survival. We don't got to worry about food. We don't even have to worry about low quality air most of the time. We don't have to worry about hot air. We're rarely uncomfortable, to be honest with you. We're rarely uncomfortable. So, if I think about some of the trauma my parents inflicted on me, I don't think they were bad people. I just think they were unaware because they were too busy trying to make it as immigrants. They were thinking about they didn't have a village to support them.
Yeah.
They were like, we got to keep everyone fed. So sorry if I didn't hug you a few times, John. I was too busy fucking trying to send you to private school.
You know what it is? Most of the world flies in first class. People like your parents, the immigrants, they were flying in coach trying to get to first class.
We're trying to get to first class.
So their abrasiveness kind of came off as that. But now you in first class. You're chilling.
Right. And they probably, if they had time on their hands to sit with their therapist and go through what the Nazi occupation did to their,
Yeah.
But my mother was probably just like, don't hug me. It's weakness. I can't show weakness. And you're like, but I need to hug him, your son. And you're like, I grew up when Nazis were fucking occupying my island.
She was like, put your tray up. Put your tray up. Put your fucking tray up. They're coming around. Put it
they're
up.
coming around. I can't She's like reusing paper towels. She's like, I can't show any weakness. I'm sorry I can't hug you. It's the only way I knew to survive, right? And then you're going, oh, okay, I get it. So it probably hurt you too that you couldn't hug me, you know? And you're like, all right. Because you were operating on these lower chakras, right? You were going like food, sustenance, you know? And we're up here going like, we have all that. Now, enlightenment. Now I'd like to be enlightened. Enlightenment is the ultimate privilege, right? Being enlightened is the ultimate privilege, I guess. You have to have a lot of your needs met to be like, I'm going to be a monk now, right? Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe monks are poor and they just decide to be monks anyway. I guess in America.
Definitely in America.
In America, it's a real privilege to say, you know what? I want to get to the root of my personality.
Which essentially means you came so far from your actual personality. All the needs that have been met by you makes you farther away from God or the true meaning of life.
That's right. I think we're probably so comfortable now the only thing left to do is while out. And that's probably why we're wilding out. Because we're definitely wilding out, dog. We're definitely wilding out. To have the three candidates that everyone knows be a guy who likes to shoot smack out of the spoon and likes a good conspiracy, a guy with a personality disorder who used to host a reality TV show, and the other guy completely absolute senile with a crackhead son. These are not the best America has to offer.
No.
Why are we here? How the fuck did we get here? Nobody could give a shit about any of these other guys. And the only three, well, I guess it's always the incumbent that gets the nomination, right? Unless something happens. But why is not the DNC going like, I mean, this guy, I mean, did you see the Biden sitting down with the Israeli foreign minister? It is wild, dog. Because Biden's sitting there and he's like mumbling. He's like looking down. He's going like, and the Israeli foreign minister is looking around going like, you could see the Israeli foreign minister going like, is this is this happening?
Looking for his hand.
Yeah, like he was like, what am I supposed to do? This guy's clearly incapacitated. Is that the right word? Clearly compromised, right?
Either that or he's listening in the future.
Yeah, pull it up real quick if you can, just for us. I know it's horrible entertainment for them, but while you're looking for it, I will say, go to patreon.com/Yannis Pappas Hour for weekly bonus episodes. It is vital that you do that and support us. It is vital. It is vital. We're the only podcast that cares about the truth. We will lead you to the promised land. I am going to start trying to appeal to people who want a cult leader. Follow me, and I will protect you at all times. I will give you the true answers.
Do you think Hunter Biden and RFK could have a play date?
Dude, they would actually love hanging out.
Yeah.
They would love. That's what they really want to be doing. Like, deep down, they both really want to let go. They want to really fucking party. RFK loves pussy, too. Puss. He can't get enough of it. His diary got found, and he calls them his lust demons, and he cheated on his wife, and he was having menage. Here we go. This is crazy.
I know he's reading from some notes. That's what he tends to do, but could someone please decipher this for me?
And we brought Israelis and Palestinians together at a political level, and Aqua and the whole Shram.
Oh.
Yes. And,
no, he was just reading from the Torah.
Affirmed to Prime Minister Netanyahu yesterday.
Yeah, Justin, the Israeli president would have been asked whether he needed an interpreter.
And you see the Israeli president, not the foreign minister, my fault. The Israeli president Isaac Herzog just kind of looking around because he's basically going like, I don't know what can't make out what he's saying.
I don't need a translator,
He's just
but
mumbling.
I think he has low blood sugar.
Yeah, he was just going down going. I mean, dog, he's old.
4 more years.
Did he have brain surgery at some point or something?
Yeah, I believe he had an aneurysm.
Yeah,
And
I
they
mean,
had to
dog.
peel his scalp back.
Yeah, I don't even like. I can't even stomach when people talk shit about him because it feels like elder abuse. Like it's not.
It is.
And look, he didn't choose his crackhead son. Like he didn't choose that. I feel bad for that. But too bad.
Well,
the president.
He might have chosen to be on that board in Ukraine, but
Yeah, or at least he wasn't mad at it. Who knows? But either way, some people like that's harsh. It's like, well, being president requires some fucking standard,
you're the
man.
leader of the free world, dog. Motherfuckers had polio in wheelchairs and still leading the country. You can't fall off no bike. I'm
No,
sorry.
You can't fall off a bike and you can't mumble like that in a meeting. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. The name of this episode, not a good look. But it's fun. Not a good look, but fun. Patreon.com/Yannis Pappas Hour. Now, thank you for listening. Tell your friends. Now let's have some fun with some of our small business shout-outs. Guys, we're brought to you by Brooklyn Cannery. It's all natural sodas. BrooklynCannery.com. Order a case to your house. Low calorie, all natural sweeteners. 15% off with the promo code Yannis Pappas at BrooklynCannery.com. ExclusiveAutoShipping.com. You're moving your car. You bought it out of state. Whatever it is, call them up for a free quote. Love these guys. Who else we got? Chris Minetti, 215-750-3730. No questions asked. He'll cash you a check if you're in Philly. Maybe he'll drive to you as well. Call him up. He's all ears. It's just him. For the free .art Music Hawaii. I mean, they've been with us since the beginning. They are not paying attention anymore.
Oh, gosh.
Who else?
Must be nice.
Oh, sporthorsefarrier.com, 864-200-9007. If you're in Nashville, you have a horse, and the horse's hooves need attending to. Call Sam Gubera. She's a horse farrier, sporthorsefarrier.com, 864. ManlyGirlyStudios.com. They do podcasts. Jared's a big fan.
Real big fan.
Get 40% off your first studio recording.
I'm going to Charlotte tonight to watch one of their live recordings.
Can't wait to go to a live recording. They also will sell you studio time at Manly Girly Studios in North Carolina. Check out their podcast. They got a bunch, and they're really funny.
40% off your first studio recording by referencing this ad. So
Yeah.
hit them up.
Is it working?
DisplayPros.net, guys. If you're a nerd and you like to make pickles or have a Yu-Gi-Oh card stand and you want to promote that shit, hit these guys up. DisplayPros.net. Code Wasdadealis for 10% off your first purchase. Tell them that we sent ya.
Yes, sir. And then Staffing Beaver.
Oh, they came back?
They're back.
Oh.
Yeah. Guys, hire overseas. He'll find people for you at staffingbeaver.com. Mention this ad, you get 10% off your first placement fee. So call up Rob and do a call. A 30-minute discovery call will save you 70% on what you're currently paying to fill your roles locally. This guy will find you all types of jobs that will be done, I guess, remotely by people in other countries. And then Ma Insurance Services.
Oh, Ma.
MaInsuranceServices.com. MAInsuranceServices.com down there in Florida. St. Petersburg, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys cover everything, bro. Commercial property, auto, professional liability, general liability, umbrellas, all that.
Giving you that personalized service that you can't get with these bigger firms. So hit these guys up.
These guys. Hit Matthew Albani up.
I'm trying to make it seem like a little bigger than it is.
Yeah,
man.
but listen, he'll answer the phone.
His mom will answer the phone.
813-260-0338. If his mom answers the phone, ask for Matthew.
And if he puts you on hold, it's because his mother's talking to Publishers Clearinghouse.
Yeah. I do like when he wrote this. This is funny. I'm probably just sitting in my office watching a Tim Dillon podcast, wishing I could afford to advertise on there. That's funny. All right, what else we got?
That's it.
That's it. See you next week.